Alright, hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Casey, and as you can see today, we have a lot of different piles to choose from. And the reason that we have so many today is because these are actually going to just be really short readings, where I'm reading directly from the guidebook. And I want to talk a little bit about the deck that I'm using today, because this is the only deck that I actually use to read for myself personally. Because as a tarot reader, I mean, everybody's different, but personally, I feel like it's difficult to be really intuitive when I'm personally biased. You know, I'm always going to be biased towards my own issues or towards my own readings. And so to mitigate that, what I do is I use this deck, the Animal Apothecary Oracle deck. This deck, I feel like all the wisdom for every single card, you only need the guidebook to reap the rewards of all the wisdom that's in this deck. And so something that I'll do for myself is when I really feel like I need guidance, I'll shuffle these cards, I'll let a few be pulled out, and then I will just read from the guidebook. And the guidebook always happens to tell me exactly what I need to hear, when I need to hear it. And this particular deck has just gotten me through so much. If the creator ever happens to come across this this video, thank you so much for creating this, because this is such a beautiful deck with such beautiful wisdom, and I want to share this with you guys today. So we have 9 different cards for you to choose from. Each one is going to be relatively short and sweet. I'm probably just going to read the message from the guidebook. I might add on a few notes here and there if I do get anything intuitive, but they're going to be pretty quick. So if you feel drawn to one, the top row is 1 through 4. The bottom row is 5 through 9, going that direction. You can feel drawn to one and you can listen to that, or if you feel drawn to multiple, you can listen to all of them. Something I invite you to do is, if you have a certain intention in yourself right now, like, what do I need to hear right now? Or if you have a certain question, you're like, what is the answer to this question? And then you feel drawn to a card. Do whatever you need, or if you just have like a few that are really sticking out to you, you can listen to those. Or if you feel drawn to nothing, it could just be that there are no messages here for you. Don't force anything to resonate. If it's just not hitting, it's not hitting. But the way this is going to work is I'm going to leave timestamps in the description box below. So there will be little timestamps you can use to jump to which part of the video that you want to listen to. But go ahead and pause, figure that out, and let's go ahead and get right into the reading. All right, pile 1. This is your card. It says Nourishment While Waiting. I think something interesting about this one is the G in waiting looks like a 9. That might be a particularly important number for you. The number on this card is also number 5. Some signs here is we have the colors purple. It almost looks like a grapefruit orange, white, blue, and yellow. There's a mouse here, and there's also, I think this is a baby hawk. So those could all be important signs or synchronicities for you. I like to point them out because I think there's so much beautiful color symbolism and just symbolism in general in all these cards. So if any of those speak to you, there might be a message in there for you. But I'm going to go ahead and read this for you. So, number 5, Nourishment While Waiting, Baby Hawk. Hawk is a power bird with big medicine. Hawk is fearless, the visionary, the messenger, and the balanced one. Hawk is your highest self. Baby Hawk in this image represents the part of you with an overwhelming desire to step into who you fully are and fulfill your purpose. Mouse represents the nourishment. Baby Hawk will need to develop into her most fulfilled self. Baby Hawk teaches us the wisdom of nourishment while waiting. This is a moment for patience. What will you do while you wait for your vision to manifest? The flower blossoms in its own time, but the gardener cultivates the seed's growth. The gardener ensures the seed's fullest development by nourishing it, pulling the weeds that threaten it, and planting the seed where it will receive the most sunlight. While you wait for the next step to be revealed, you must similarly prepare yourself for success. Baby Hawk needs to be nourished before she can achieve all her greatness as adult hawk, and this is why you must nourish yourself on every possible level. Ask yourself what skills your future self holds that you currently do not, then start researching and practicing them. Once you grow and develop these skills, you step into your highest self. Wise old hawk looks back on her past self and shares the medicine to not just wait in patience, but to learn while you wait. Stay persistent on your path towards growth and develop and strengthen yourself, for it is consistent nourishment to become your greatest self that magnetizes you towards dreams unimaginable to you now. So I feel like the main message for you here is, It doesn't matter where you're at on your path or what it is that you're trying to manifest, whether it's a relationship, a career, or just certain life goals that you're really trying to attain. Things will come in divine timing. But the best thing that you can do right now, and sometimes the only thing that you can control, are the actions that you take right now. If you are trying to attain this future version of yourself that's really successful, I want you to ask yourself, what kind of skills are you going to have or are you going to want once you're there? I don't know, maybe you're going to want to be a master crocheter, but you have this idea in your mind of I'm going to crochet all these things, but maybe you haven't started learning right now. So what you can do right now, while you wait for that divine timing, is let's start learning about crocheting. Let's take those classes. Let's start nurturing ourselves. If you have certain things within yourself that you're unhappy about, how can you start working on resolving those things within yourself, finding harmony within yourself? I think right now, for you personally, the message that you have is it's a time for you to grow, it's a time for you to heal, and it's a time for you to just develop yourself. Not with pressure on, I need to get this done, but what do I want to get done right now? What skills do I want to have in the future? Who do I want to become right now? So pile 1, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that this message resonated, and if you felt drawn to any more, I encourage you to go back to the beginning and listen to as many piles as you'd like. But that is everything that I have. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 2. This is the card that you chose. This card is number 32, and it says, Just Trust. And it looks like it has a little bit of a seedling, a lot of different colors on here. You have 2 rainbows coming out of a mole. I'm pretty sure that's the animal, it's a mole. And there's also the color orange. I like to point all that out just in case any of those colors or numbers or words or anything are synchronicities for you. But let's go ahead and get into this message. So, number 32, Just Trust. Mole not only sees poorly, but also hears and smells poorly too. The one ability he can rely on to guide him where he wants to go is his sensitivity toward vibrations. This is why Mole comes to teach us the medicine of absolute trust, even in the darkness. When you receive this card, it is a tremendous confirmation that you will find what you seek. Not only will things work out, but they will also be better than what you can currently fathom with your current understanding of reality. Right now, it is of utmost importance to have unwavering faith, even if you do not see proof of any progress. Go forward. Do not aim for perfection, because it will only block you from success. Do what you intend to do, even if you may feel scared. Something that deeply resonates with your heart is awaiting you. The image of the sapling in the card represents your stage in the game. You have no idea if you will blossom into the great oak, the poetic rosebush, or perhaps the majestic redwood. But something profound is meant for you, and you must withstand the waiting game. You must see your wish without seeing it, and hear your desire without hearing it. You must be your fullest self without even knowing what that looks and feels like. What you want also wants you, but you must walk towards it with steadfast conviction. This card is a mighty confirmation. Feel a breath of relief and get excited. Mole's medicine is simple yet deep. His medicine is letting you know it is safe to trust. It's going to happen for you. So, pile 2, I feel like the main message for you here is trust your intuition. And even if you can't feel your intuition, if even you feel wavering, trust in the universe or trust in your abilities, or you just feel really scared of your direction forward, the universe just wants to give you a big message here of you don't know what awaits you in the future. And I truly believe this message is showing you that what is coming for you is bigger than anything that you can ever imagine. It's going to be grander and better than you're even going to imagine. And if you have little fears that get in the way, or fears of saying it's not going to work out, or it's not going to be okay, I think the medicine of this card is just don't listen to that fear. Don't listen to the ego. Don't listen even to, I know this is kind of a weird message, but don't listen to the logical side of your brain that is trying to disprove everything. Try to listen to your intuition, and even if you can't listen to your intuition at this current time, try to have trust in the universe, try to have trust in your abilities, and please have trust that everything will work out in the way that it's meant to for your highest good. So, pile 2, that is the message of this card. If you felt drawn to any more at the beginning, I encourage you to go back and choose some more, but that's everything that I have for you right now. Thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye. All right, pile 3. If you chose this card, then this is the reading for you. And something that I'm seeing here on this card is we have the number 27, we have an antelope, some boxes around words, a lot of black and white, but also these colors like pink, purple, yellow, and orange. For some reason reminds me of the lesbian pride flag, so I don't know if that's a message for you, but that is what I'm seeing here. I like to point all that out in case there's any symbolism or synchronicities that really resonate with you, but let's go ahead and get into the message of this card. So, number 27, shake, release, heal, move on. Antelope. Antelope stands on the savanna, enjoying a cool breeze. In the blink of an eye, Cheetah pounces and mounts the antelope's back, making him freeze with fear and become immobilized. Any spectator would assume Antelope is dead. Cheetah drags Antelope's limp body back to a shaded area to begin her feast, but is interrupted by a gang of hyenas. Cheetah, now focused on protecting her food, abandons Antelope to address the approaching hyenas. It is in this moment that Antelope's body will conduct the genius of its intelligence. Still unconscious, Antelope's stomach begins to rise and fall with deep breaths, his body shaking and quivering. Antelope opens his eyes, clumsily rises to his hooves, and bursts into the most powerful run of his life. Antelope's body saves his life. This card is inspired by Dr. Peter Levine's studies on animals in the wild and the ability of movement to release and dispel trauma and anxiety from the body. Often after the immobility phase of terror, the animal shakes and quivers before returning to full consciousness and running away. The shaking and running are a physiological response to discharge the trauma energy from the nervous system. The genius of the body's movement is that the animal then does not have to suffer the debilitating effects of post-traumatic stress disorder. The only creatures that do not instinctually exhibit this behavior of shaking to release trauma are humans and animals in captivity. Antelope's medicine is literally telling you to move. One powerful technique is to set an intention before and during your exercise routine. For example, before you go on a jog, you would say, "This movement is for me to let go of this resistance inside and overcome my current obstacle." During your run, you would repeat this over and over again. If you are about to do a yoga session, you might continuously repeat, "I am dedicating this yoga practice to releasing my trauma, stepping into my power, and falling deeply in love with myself and life." Connecting intention with movement yields powerful results. So, pile 3, I don't know particularly what's going on in your life at this current time, but I think the main message of this is if you are currently under a lot of stress, or if you've recently gone through something really traumatic, or maybe it's even something that happened a long time ago that's left some traumatic scars on you and they're coming up now, I think the main message is, we may not know how to deal with this mentally right now. We may not have all the tools that we need to deconstruct all these, feelings or issues inside of us. But something that you do have control over is how you move your body. And sometimes that's the best way to get out stress. Sometimes I hear these things about, people always say, especially to men, like, "Oh, don't cry. Crying is wimpy," or "crying is lame." But actually, the act of crying releases cortisol from our body, releases the stress hormone. It's our body's natural reaction of trying to physically eliminate stress from the body. And so I think our body knows best. And if you've been having this tug within you of like, I feel like I need to run, or I feel like I need to go paint, or I need to go do something with my hands, or I need to dance, or I need to do yoga, I need to stretch, or I need to go get a massage. Whatever it is, that's your body's way of speaking to you to say, "Hey, I need these things to make myself feel better." And, don't push it aside. Listen to it. Even if it may seem silly, like, "Oh, I need to go get a massage." Like, yeah, right, everybody wants a massage. But genuinely, I think your body is going to tell you what it needs. And if you can listen to it, set those intentions of, I want this yoga practice, or I want this meditation, or I want this run. I want this to alleviate whatever stress I am feeling inside my body, or I want this to eliminate whatever feeling I have stuck in my head. I want to expel it through sweating, or by yelling, or by dancing, or by shaking my body. And I feel like those are really going to help you out. Listen to your body. It knows what you need. And sometimes, even if we don't know what to do for ourselves, we don't know the best answer. Sometimes the best answer is just, what is our body telling us to do? I think our bodies have a lot of wisdom of how to help us, and we just need to be willing to listen. So, pile 3, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that this reading brought you some clarity, and if you felt drawn to any more at the beginning, I encourage you to go back, check out any card that you felt drawn to. But that is everything that I have for you for this one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 4. This is the card that you chose. This card says Inner Truth. It has an owl, I think this is a barn owl. Hopefully I'm not wrong on that. The colors that I see on here, we have a light blue, a light orange, a dark orange, and a black. There's also some white and some tan and gray in here, and the number 7. I like to point out any of that symbolism in case any of those are synchronicities for you, or if any of them speak to you in some way. But let's go ahead and get into your card. So, number 7, Inner Truth. Owl sees in the dark and knows what is not directly being shown. She is the master intuitive. In ancient Greek mythology, Owl sat on the shoulder of Athena so the goddess would know the whole truth at all times. If you receive this card in your reading, it is a message that you have a deep inner knowing and you can trust in this gift. Whatever guidance you are currently seeking, this card is a confirmation that the answer will not only come, but it will come from within. Owl says it is okay to not always immediately know the right answer or what to do. Fear may arise and hide the truth of the situation from you, but you are being asked to sit in the confidence of your inner knowing. Patience is of the utmost importance. When you push and try to instruct your intuition to immediately figure out the answer, your intuition becomes strangled by your ego's control. All you need to know is that the guidance will come. When and how it comes is none of your concern. Life will help you connect with your intuition to reveal the truth, figure out the best path, and do what is best for your growth and the growth of anyone else involved. Owl's medicine shares that you do know the answer, and it will be revealed at the correct moment. Relax and go do something else. So, usually at the end of these, I like to add on like my thoughts on this, or what I think it can mean, or any other little information. But I think I'm supposed to just leave you with this message in what it means to you. I think what you're meant to do right now is look within, trust your intuition, trust where the universe is guiding to you, and come to your own conclusions. And more than anything, don't overthink it. Like it said in the reading, intuition can become strangled if we try to overthink or if we try to rush an answer. And so if you came into this reading and you set your intention as, what is the answer to this question? And you had this frantic feeling within you. The universe is trying to tell you, at this moment in time, you're not going to be able to hear your intuition if you feel frantic, if you feel stressed. Go do something else. Go do something that's fun. Go hang out with some friends. Go read a book. Go distract yourself. When it's the right time for you to know the answer, your intuition will speak to you. It'll come in a moment of quiet or a moment of solitude, or it'll come to you when you've forgotten that you were even seeking this answer. And I know it can be frustrating because we want the answer right now, but the universe is trying to build trust with yourself, and it's going to take some time. It's a little frustrating, but that is the message that I have for you. I hope it brought you some clarity on what you're going through. And if you felt drawn to any of the other cards at the beginning, I encourage you to go back, listen to them, because it could be that there are more messages for you on other issues. But that is all that I have for this reading. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, I think this is pile 5. This is the card that you chose at the beginning. This is card number 17. It says let go, period, and bury, period. And I think the G and go kind of looks like a 9, so that could be an important number for you. And we also have a scorpion fly on here. Some colors are pink, orange, yellow, and purple. We also have blue and brown. There's a coffin shape and a hand that looks like it's shoveling. So I like to point out any symbolism in the beginning because those might be important synchronicities to you personally. But let's go ahead and get into your reading. So, number 17, let go, bury. Scorpion fly is the first on the scene when there is a corpse. When scorpion fly appears in your reading, it is a sign that there is something outmoded that no longer serves you. When we hold on to something that has died, we cannot return the energy it once had. Instead, it takes on a different kind of life. Maggots begin to lay eggs, the bacteria take over the decomposing process, and the new life has a rancid smell. It's kind of gross. What thing or belief are you holding on to that no longer fulfills your purpose? What do you need to let go of and finally bury in the dirt? When we give a proper burial and goodbye to what no longer serves us, it allows the natural process of decomposition to happen. It is through this letting go that something unexpected and beautiful can germinate. In burying what does not serve you, you create space for something more profound to grow. You become stronger by weeding through what is no longer contributing to your growth. Scorpion Fly's medicine shares that a new development is waiting to blossom, but you must first sacrifice and bury the unneeded that is taking up space. Trash the old and outdated. So I'm going to actually talk about yours for a little bit because I was getting something coming to mind while I was reading that honestly was a little bit distracting. But, whatever it is that this thing is that you need to let go of. Maybe it's a past relationship. Maybe it's a past way of thinking. Something that you're still holding on to that once comforted you, but now it's kind of just dead weight. Whatever it is that you need to let go of. So, something that was coming to mind of how you might be able to let go of this is, you're watching this on YouTube, I imagine. On YouTube, I want you to search up the Dr. John Deloney Show. He is basically this kind of radio show host who people come to him with questions about grief, questions about relationships, questions about, I just got cheated on, how do I deal with this thing? Or questions about their job or major life changes. And I think the way that he handles those questions are really beautiful. But the reason that he was coming to mind in this reading is he deals a lot with grief, whether it's losing somebody that's passed away or losing a relationship, people going through divorce, people going through breakups. And I feel like there could be messages within those stories that might be able to help you out. Even if you're not necessarily going through a breakup or if you haven't recently lost somebody, the way that he walks people through how to let go of things, whether it's by having kind of like a funeral for that future that you were imagining, setting up that process of how can I physically let go in the physical world so that I can also let go within myself, so that I can no longer have this thing tying me down or holding on to this thing that's no longer serving me. I just feel drawn to tell you about that because maybe through you listening to those stories and listening to his advice, you might find some advice there that will actually help you personally. So I feel like that is the major message that I have for you is there's something within you that it's time to let go of, something that is no longer serving you. Maybe you know this, maybe you're like, yeah, there is this thing that I've been holding on to. It's really been stopping me from moving forward in new relationships or stopping me from moving forward into the life that I want to live. And if that's the case, I highly encourage you, go check out his YouTube channel. Even if you don't find what you're looking for, I think there's just some really beautiful stories on there. And the advice that he has for people is just, it's amazing. And so I highly encourage you to check that out. I hope that you find what you're looking for. But it's time to let go of this thing. There's some dead weight that you're hanging on to, some things that it's time to let go of, and you're not going to be able to go through a proper metamorphosis and grow into the new version of yourself if you can't properly shed everything. And there's some stuff that really needs to be shed, but it's like clinging on to you. It's time to scrub away the old so you can begin the new. But Pile 5, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that this could bring you some clarity. I hope that it could help you out. If you felt drawn to any of the other cards in the beginning, I encourage you to go back, check them out, because it could be that there's more messages for you there. But that is everything that I have for you here. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, Pile 6. I believe this is Pile 6. This is the card that you chose at the beginning, and I'm going to describe it to you a little bit in case there's any symbolism that speaks out to you. But it looks like we have a jaguar here, or a panther. I'm not sure if those are the same thing, but it's like a black jaguar. There's the color yellow, the color black, the color blue, and the color red. There's a hand with some pink nail polish. There's a red water pitcher, some yellow bangles, the number 33. It says nourish the shadow. And also there's a triple goddess symbol here that's like the moon with the two crescent moons on either side. So all of those could be important symbolism for you if any of those speak to you. But let's go ahead and get into this reading. So, number 33, nourish the shadow. Jaguar represents the shadow, the subconscious aspects of ourselves we push away. Carl Jung says these aspects usually stem from situations we encountered as children that lead to us feeling shame, unworthiness, and abandonment. We then live out these programmed beliefs as adults. Jaguar comes to speak to us about nourishing our shadow, In this image, we see her drinking from the well of wholeness. The well in this image, inspired by Jungian analyst Marion Woodman, is our place of nourishment and absolute wholeness. Water is where all life comes from. Without it, we have no vitality. I need to pause here because I just got this thing flash into my mind while I was reading, and this may be important to you for some reason. I don't know if you're trying to get into a relationship, a romantic relationship, or if maybe you are in a relationship and you've been having some relationship issues, or it could even be friendship issues or family issues. But the thing that was popping into my mind was the phrase, "We marry our unfinished business." And this is something that I heard when somebody was talking about relationships on YouTube, and it's basically this idea that when we don't properly heal from past traumas or from childhood traumas, or when we bring issues into a relationship that are unresolved, we end up marrying somebody that mirrors those issues back to us. We marry our unfinished business. And that can lead us to a lot of problems that are really difficult to work with, especially if you realize later on, like, I don't know if I can work through this with this person. And so if you're about to get into a relationship, or if you've been trouble getting into a relationship, or if you're currently having relationship issues, there's a message that I think the healing starts with you. It starts with you recognizing, what is it about this relationship, or why I chose this person, or why we're going through this? What is this reflecting back to me about my life choices, or my preconceived notions, or my things that I deal with, or my cycles of trauma, or my certain mindset struggles? What is this reflecting back to me about myself? Because especially if this is about relationships, the main problem, or at least how it's affecting you, doesn't have anything to do with the other person. And it has everything to do with you and what this problem or what this relationship is reflecting back to you about yourself. And so the healing starts with looking within at your shadow. Looking within it, why is this affecting me like this? Or why am I behaving this way? Or why am I thinking this way? Or why do I continue to act this way? Why am I stuck in these cycles? When you can nourish your shadow, when you can look at those parts of yourself that you're ashamed of, or those parts of yourself that are hurting, or those parts of yourself that are born out of trauma, when you can look at those sides of yourself and instead of beating them, instead of hating them, instead of yelling at them, when you can look at them with love and compassion and hold that hand of your younger self and say, I am going to lead you out of this darkness. When you heal yourself, that's when things in the relationship start to even out. That's when things start to flow properly. That's when we can start to work on things with the other person or with the other people. But it all starts with us first. It all starts with nourishing our shadow first. And so that is a major message that came forward. I don't know who that's for, but I really felt the need to get that out. So I'm going to continue on with this reading, but I felt the need to pause to talk about that because that's what was coming through really strongly. So back to the card. Many of us ignore and starve our shadow aspects because they cause us so much pain. We push them away and deeply criticize them. We chain our jaguar shadow and confine her to the furthest part of the backyard of our minds. She howls and cries for nourishment, yet we still ignore her. In her banishment, because of the lack of love, her power grows as the master of self-sabotage. Ironically, if you would begin a relationship with her, you'd find that she is your greatest asset and leads to fulfilling your life's purpose. Funny that we instinctively banish her. Jaguar's medicine asks you to create a self-talk relationship with yourself and to ride the wave of hurt within. Every time a painful feeling arises, you now must tell yourself, I'm right here to feel this with you. I accept this uncomfortable feeling, and I will write it out with you. I am here to feel this with you. If you do this, the emotion will always detox out and dissipate, leading to a much quicker healing. But you must be strong and endure the pain. Commit to riding the waves of emotion together within yourself. This is the nourishment your jaguar shadow requests. If you witness her, she will start showing you a new and indestructible power within. Your shadow is where your diamond lives. So I think this is pile 6. That is the reading that I have for you. I hope that this helped you out. And if you felt drawn to more than one card at the beginning, I encourage you to go back because there might be more messages for you here. But that is everything that I have for this pile. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 7. This is the card that you chose at the beginning. I'm going to talk a little bit about this symbolism that we have going on in case these are important synchronicities for you. So the card here that we have today says Breakthrough. It's number 29. The colors are blue, yellow, pink, orange, white. We have the head of a snake and a coffin shape and an eye with a cone shape coming out, or possibly a pyramid shape, and a circle. So if any of those are important synchronicities for those, then those could be important signs for you. But let's go ahead and read this card. So, number 29, Breakthrough. The medicine of this card comes through when you are about to level up and have an amazing breakthrough, but you must be made aware that your lizard brain may attempt self-sabotage. The eye opening in this image is likened to a seed ripping open to become self-realized. The reptile head on the bottom of the card represents our unconscious reptilian brain, the limbic system. This part of our brain represents fear, flight, fight, addictions, and other emotional behaviors. It hates change and thinks it can keep you safe by pulling you back from taking important risks that can lead to great success. The lizard brain will drown you in fear of potential failure and tell you to stay in the job or relationship that makes you miserable, because there is a strange safety in the familiarity of what you know. Hey, at least you know it's horrible, so that's safe, right? Wrong. This is just some of the garbage logic of the lizard brain, the master of self-sabotage. This card is about surpassing the prehistoric programming of our beliefs and behaviors to evolve into who we know we can be. The art of your breakthrough is the determined effort to constantly question your perception. Take a moment to analyze a current obstacle or moment of resistance you are dealing with. This obstacle is a golden nugget moment to challenge your perception. Examine the story in your mind's eye. Even being aware that you just got hijacked by lizard brain doesn't necessarily dispel all the worry running through your body. At this moment, you may have to just move forward while still feeling fear and not believing fully in yourself. But the action of going forward is what will lead you to the critical breakthrough. So, for this card, something that was kind of coming through that may help you is, the main idea of this card is all about our fears, the fears that hold us back, even if they may not be logical or even if they may not be realistic, they still stop us from taking steps forward to where we want to go. And, on some level, these fears are there to protect us, but they also stop us from reaching things that could be good for us. And so something that we need to do, a responsibility that we need to take on is, okay, let's take a look at these fears in the eye, let's examine them, and let's figure out how to work through them. And I think a great starting point for you is, I encourage you to get out a journal or your notes app and just write down, what am I afraid of right now? Write down what are those things. I'm afraid to talk to new people. And then examine, why am I afraid of this? Write down exactly, why am I afraid to talk to these new people? Is it because I think that they're going to think I'm ugly? Is it because I think they're going to think that I'm awkward or weird? Is it I think that they're going to reject me, or they're going to talk bad about me behind my back? What is it exactly about this that you're afraid of? And then ask yourself, are these logical or are they illogical? If there's something that's completely outlandish, like they're going to beat me to a pulp right away, let's cross that one out. Okay, that is not a real reason to be afraid of this. And as you go through, you're going to narrow it down to, okay, what are the most logical things here that could reasonably happen? They might think that I'm a little weird. Okay, and then how can we work through that? Well, if I want to be friends with somebody and they're going to think I'm weird, well, maybe I don't really want to be friends with them in the first place. Or maybe you can get an outside perspective of somebody that you know is going to tell you the blunt truth, like a sibling or something. And you can say, do I come off as weird? Be honest. And they're going to tell you, yeah, you know what? You are a little odd. Or they're going to say, no, you're pretty normal. In fact, you're kind of boring. And you're going to be like, gee, thanks. Great. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. But I think taking a logical step-by-step approach of, what are these fears? What am I most afraid of? What am I afraid of? I'm afraid of applying for this new job. Why? Because I might get rejected. Okay, at least you can narrow it down to that. Now, how can we start working through that? Let's break it down to the most bottom level, and then let's break through those and work our way back up until we've deconstructed everything and narrowed it down to, all right, what are the realistic scenarios? And then ask yourself, even in the face of these realistic scenarios of what could go wrong, do I still want to try to go through with it anyway? Do I still want to try to apply to that job anyway? Because I also want you to write down what would happen if you succeeded. I want you to write down, like, okay, let's say you're afraid of talking to new people. Let's write down what could happen on the good side of things, not just the fear, but let's write down, okay, well, they might really like me. Maybe this is a new romantic relationship. Maybe I find my soulmate. That's a good thing that you can write down. Maybe I find my new best friends, the people that I want to have in my life. Or maybe for the job thing, you write down, maybe I get accepted to this job that I really, really want, and maybe they end up paying me a lot more than I even asked for, or even that I thought I could have. So write down all the fears, deconstruct how they may be unrealistic, work your way through that, and then also write down what good could come out of it. Because it's easy. It's so easy to find the fear in things. It's so easy to find how things could go wrong. But sometimes we just need to remind ourselves of, why is it worth it? What are the good things that could come out of this? How could I change my life for the better? Because at the end of the day, if you're trying to manifest this dream life, the way that you get there is by doing the hard work, the work that might scare you, overcoming those fears, stepping into the middle of the hurricane and saying, this is worth it because this is where I want to be. This is what I want to go to. This is the life I want to live. And so I encourage you to do all that. And I guarantee you, every single person in the world deals with personal fears and things that hold them back. And if you're not sure where to start, or if my method doesn't work for you, look up online, look up on YouTube how to deal with fear, how to deal with things that hold you back, how to overcome personal obstacles. There are so many methods, so many resources out there of people that are going to explain to you for hours upon hours of exactly how to overcome what it is you're going through. So you're not alone. You are never alone. Even if it's strangers on the internet explaining these things to you, I promise you, the way that you get out of this, the way that you achieve your dream life, the steps are already there. You just need to look for them, and you will find them. And I truly wish you the best on this journey. I want you to be able to achieve your dream life. I want you to be able to get to where you want to go. But it all starts with you. Nobody's going to take the action for you, but there are people that can help you along the way. So, Pile 7, that is what I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, Pile 8. This is the card that you chose at the beginning, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the symbolism that we have going on here in case any of these are personal synchronicities for you. I think that this is a falcon. That's actually a hawk, sorry. We have a hawk here. There's a blue eye with like a pyramid coming out of it. We have the words that say focus on the big picture. The main colors here, we have tans, browns, pinks. We also have some grays, some whites and blacks. There's also a bee here in the corner with a little crown and a lighthouse with like candy cane-like stripes on the side. So all of those could be important for you. This is also the number 19, so that could be an important number for you. So let's go ahead and read this. Number 19, focus on the big picture. The Visionary Hawk card comes with a powerful message about a higher perspective. The image of the hawk coming out of the eye asks you to transcend your current perception and see the bigger picture. Hawk is aligned with the lighthouse that focuses its light on the bee, which represents your purpose and desire. Hawk says you must expand your perception to encompass a higher viewpoint and focus on the thing you want. Then victory, represented by the crown, is the only next logical step. Hawk is asking you to take control of your thoughts. Stop playing victim to external circumstances and own the truth that you create your own reality. Declare that your life is going to be the most fulfilling, prosperous, and joyful you have ever experienced. Proclaim that you will overcome all obstacles, your self-doubt, and your insecurities because you have a gift that you and only you were created to share. Regardless of whether your current situation is less than desirable, this card comes as a confirmation that something beautiful is awaiting you. But the first step is to make that decision to get out of your ego's limited perception. Testify to the world and yourself that something big is awaiting you. Not even your disbelief in yourself will stop you from fulfilling your purpose. You were created for greatness. Hawk's medicine asks you asks you to immediately snap out of whatever discouraging story may be playing in your mind and immediately focus on the power of all the achievements that await you. So I'm going to leave you with that message. I'm not going to try to interpret it or alter it all that much because I think it is a great message on its own. But something that was coming through in my mind as I was reading was the book The Alchemist. I just get the sense that that is a book that could really help you out along the journey that you're on right now. It talks a lot about trusting in the universe, trusting in your intuition, and the main purpose of the story is to show what can happen when you follow your heart, when you follow your intuition, and when you live out your life's purpose. It personally had a huge impact on me and my spiritual beliefs and also my belief in myself. And for some reason, I feel the need to share about this book with you. I feel like if you pick up this book, or it's you can actually listen to the full audiobook for free on Spotify or on YouTube. So you can go ahead and listen to it right now. I've listened to it multiple times on Spotify, and I just have this intuitive feeling that that book can be really meaningful to you personally and can help you out a lot, especially on this journey that you're on right now of, trusting in the process, trusting your intuition, and trying to achieve what it is that you think that your purpose is. So pile 8, I think this is pile 8. I'm going to leave you there. If you felt drawn to any other cards at the beginning, you can go ahead and check those out. But that is everything that I have for this pile. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye. All right, pile 9, last but certainly not least. This is the card that you chose at the very beginning. And let's talk a little bit about the symbolism here, because this might have some personal synchronicities for you. So I see the number 9 here a few times with the G in big is the number 9. It says here, small steps, big accomplishments. And it looks like we have 2 turtles here, 2 sea turtles. There's a picture of the earth and the number 8. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. Oh, there's also the colors green and blue. It's pretty much only green and blue with like a little bit of white. So those could be important colors for you. So number 8, small steps, big accomplishments. Sea turtles migrate thousands of miles each year while swimming at a slow, methodical pace. The key medicine is that what you wish to manifest will take dedicated, consistent, and patient effort. Land turtle reinforces this message about the slow process towards your desire, further speaking to us about how grounded this point of view is. Nothing represents being grounded quite like the land turtle, built sturdy and close to Mother Earth. Small, consistent efforts will lead to long-lasting success. Be patient. Do not rush for immediate rewards. Understand that immediate gratification cannot sustain what is needed for long-term success. Shortcuts yield short-term success, and instant gratification is for the weak mind. Sea turtle is not instantly born in the sea swimming towards his goal. He first must build his muscles by slowly breaking out of the shell and journeying towards his desire to be in the great sea. Allow things to develop at their own pace and plan for a lengthy dedication towards your goal. This is a very promising card as it speaks to happy results. You are building something great and its full fruition needs time. Turtle's medicine shares that slow and steady efforts are of the most importance to you. Something powerful is in development. What is built slowly stands longer. So I think the main message for you here is I think you're on a path right now, whether it's career or personal or relationship, or maybe it's you wanting to buy a house someday, whatever this long-term goal is. I think that this is something that is really taking a lot of time and dedication to build. And I'm almost imagining somebody building a house brick by brick, like you're building it by hand and you can do one brick at a time. That is a very slow, methodical, exhausting pace, but you know in your heart that you want something to stand the test of time. You want this to be something that you're proud of, and you don't want that instant gratification, because imagine if you're like, okay, I'm gonna get this done in one day, and you stack up all these bricks as fast as possible, and then you kind of step back from the house and you're looking at it like, oh my god, that thing looks horrible. And it's because you didn't take the time to level things out, you didn't take the time to make sure that everything was straight, you didn't take the time to really make sure everything was put together right, and then just one swift wind blows everything away. And you're like, I built this whole thing and it didn't stand properly. And I think that's an example of what happens when you try to rush the process. Whether you're trying to build a business, build an empire, build a home, literally, or buy a home, or get to a certain place in life, or even get the perfect relationship. These are things that need a long time to be built properly. You can't rush the process. And so whatever it is that you're going through, try to release control of when things are going to be finished and just focus on, what is the best thing that I can do today? With the analogy of building a house, maybe the best thing that you can do today is, cutting all the wood slats perfectly, making sure the edges are sanded, making sure you're picking out the best pieces of wood that don't have cracks in them, that don't have huge knots in them. Maybe that's all you do today. And yeah, it's not exactly putting the finishing touches on the house. It's not exactly the fun part of getting to design, what furniture you want. But it is a necessary part of laying that foundation. And right now, I think you're in that stage of you're laying the foundation. You're building it brick by brick. You're putting one step in front of the other. And these things take time, but it is going to build your dream home or your dream life or the dream relationship, whatever it is that you're manifesting. That perfection will come, but perfection takes time. And so try to step away from this need of instant gratification, step away from trying to control when things will happen, and trust in the process. I don't know if the book really talked about this, but something that I think about with sea turtles is they're born on the sand, and they're so far away from where they need to go. And they're immediately born, and that's their monumental task. He's like, you don't have any time to rest. The seagulls are flying overhead. They're going to try to get you. You got to go now. And it's this insurmountable task of if that little sea turtle just sat there paralyzed thinking, look at how far that is. I'm never going to make it there. Look at all these seagulls. Look at all this competition to my left and right. Look at how big those waves are. The sea turtle would probably never take a single step. But I think because of how grounded the sea turtle is, because it can only look down at the sand in front of it, it just focuses on one step at a time. One step, one step, one step. And before you know it, it reaches where it's supposed to go. It reaches that ocean. And yeah, maybe it gets pummeled by the waves. Maybe it's a little scared because it knows the seagulls are watching. Maybe it gets a little anxious because the other sea turtles around it are making it to the ocean further or faster. But it's about just focusing on one step in front of the other. Where am I going to place my next flipper? Where am I going to place my next foot? That's what you have control over, and that's what you can do right now. So pile 9, that is everything that I have for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I hope that it helped you out. And if you felt drawn to any other cards at the beginning, I encourage you to go check them out, because it could be that there's other messages there for you. But that is everything that I have for you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.